Internet! What's up, Internet? What's up, Internet? It's not Friday, it's Tuesday. It's not Monday.
It's T-Day, man.
T-Day? Twas Day?
T-Day. Yeah.
Welcome to Twas Day 2018. It's a whole brand new year. So who is going to be first to the chat in the bright new year? 200,018. Frank Dominguez. First one to the chat. Quickly followed up by number 2, Roger Deadham, and number 3, Charlie List. Not bad. Not bad for our first 3 on, the beginning of the year. Is this the first of the year or the second of the year? I'm not 100%. I'd be totally confused. But Sarah Konopko coming in with the green ribbon, right? Isn't the green ribbon 4th place, I think? I think green is the fourth place ribbon. And then Jim Meeker with the purple ribbon for 5th place. Quickly followed by Kevin Keener in 6th place with the paisley-colored ribbon. And Candy Overhauls coming in 7th with the plaid ribbon. Right? I think that's how it works. What's up, everybody? It's Tuesday. Glad to see everybody here in the chat. What's our topic today? Something big this way cometh, and it's the Chaco Man. The Chaco Man over there coming at you live on a glorious Tuesday. But we're happy to be here. Hope everyone had a fantastic New Year out there. If anybody's been following on Patreon or Instagrams or the face pages or Snapchats or MySpace or America Online or on the bulletin boards, has anybody been following on the bulletin boards out there? Probably. I haven't. My computer probably just automatically posts to them. Like Megamud fires up and blast out some posts to the bulletin board. So if anybody's been following on that, yesterday we went up to the Glorious Mountain, and you can see that. If you missed all those places, you can find it in the thumbnail on this lovely video brought to you by Jiminy Christmas. Let's say hi to a couple other people here. Sean Nebula is here. Josh Peters. I'm glad to see Frank Meeker again, who I just said hi to before. Nisi is here, back to training a new gal, so she's not moderating. I'm not sure if we're going to have to replace Nisi at some point in time. It sounds like she's got a new gig, so we might have to get a new moderator. If anyone out there is interested in moderating, you will have to go through our moderating, what do you call him? The guy who vets people? What's that called? What's that called? The guy who vets people. You know what I mean? Like the enforcer? What's he called? I don't know, but he's over there, and you have to deal with that gangster guy. He's, I believe he's from a representative from Los Lobos, I believe.
Los Vatos Locos.
Los Vatos Locos, I think. And you can contact them at Johnny5 via the internet.com. So, let's see who else is here. Steven Skoglund is here. What's up, Steven? I haven't been able to mention Steven Skoglund's big-time support up until today. He sent us some more Google Pods over the weekend, so I'll be able to most likely do some streaming stuff from the fish room at some point in time if I ever get released from the gangster cave that is the Aquarium Co-op fish room, which is getting locked up here in shackles and whatnot. The Tacos Locos are here. I like the Tacos Locos. Okay. Kevin Keener says the Vatos Locos for life. We like that. Pretty good. Jeff's Aquatics is here. Master Beta has showed up. What's up, man? Donald Edwards. Mike Kinseth and the Turtle Girl. and Heather from Varuna Aquatics. I think just about everybody is here. So, what was I going to talk about today? I don't know, but now Corey is putting on all of Jimmy's clothes while we do the live stream here. So it seems to be working for him, and I think we'll just keep rolling on this nonsense. But we did have some good questions from the Patreon, and my phone died, so I don't exactly have my phone here. In the meantime, where'd you get a gold bar from?
My piggy bank.
That's your piggy bank? Oh, is there any money in it?
Yeah, it's all coins. Oh, here's $100. 24 karat gold.
24 karat gold wrestler. Well, if you could hand me my phone, Jimmy, that'd be totally cool. It's right over there.
Where is it?
It's just right there on top of that little cabinet thing. So I'm going to answer some Patreon questions here because I had to plug in my phone and then I forgot to get it. But we're going to answer a couple of these real quick. And the first one was from, well, this isn't really a question, more of a statement. From Sarah's Little Fish. She got herself a new tank for Christmas, had it running for a week to cycle, and then it randomly broke. And I felt so defeated that I didn't want to look at another tank again, but I kept watching your videos and Corey's, which helped me get back into it again, so I upped my pledge that helps support making the videos and stuff. Thank you very much, Sarah. Definitely appreciate it, and I'm glad to hear that you came through the darkness. I've had that happen before. Sometimes tanks break, and it just happens in really weird ways, and you definitely don't expect it to happen. I do think somebody went looking through the list of old videos and found out that they found my old video when I had a 3-piece reef tank that actually, like, one of the tanks broke out of it, and turns out it was the one on the left. And I have to admit, it's very disappointing when that kind of stuff happens, and drives me nuts also, for sure. 100%. Let's see here. Not much to... Let's see. Lurking, my tank is leaking. Not good. Thanks for Real Fish Talk today. It was really good. Turbofish has a leaking tank. That's no good. All right. One of the other posts came from Adam Till on the Patreon. If you guys want to go over and check that out, you can. He was actually asking about hot water systems and doing large water changes, as he typically runs through about 600 gallons of water a weekend on water changes, which is pretty significant. And was trying to find out about some water heaters, and I will be answering that fairly soon, because I don't have any video here to answer that question necessarily, but one of the places I would refer to that was when there's this guy, Corey, from Aquarium Co-op, when he was adding a hot water heater that's around here to supply him for his large water changes. And yeah, I know that there's a video on the Aquarium Co-op if you wanted to check that out when they hooked that up. And I think the model number's on there and stuff too. Or maybe you could just Amazon it. You could probably Amazon the water heater that you're looking for, I think. Yeah, I would imagine. Let's see. Oh, and Elizabeth Rogers had one that I wanted to answer here too, which was, and we'll run through this a little bit. Okay, Elizabeth Rogers was asking, my tap water pH has gone from 7.6 to 8.6. My tanks have been stable at 7.6 till now, but after a couple of water changes, the tank is now sitting at 8.4. Is there anything I can add to the water to bring the pH down, or do I need to worry? Now, the first things first here that I would say, typically if your pH has changed out of your tap water from your local supplier and whatnot, oftentimes there is either a weather event that has something to do with this, or what's the other reason? Or just the local municipal guys have decided that there's something that they want to do, which is more often than not has to do with a weather event, which is typically what happens in Western Washington. Normally when the water starts dumping down, pouring down rain, it actually works its way through the reservoir pretty rapidly and changes the pH and stuff like that. But if there was something that you wanted to add to your pH to kind of bring it down a little bit, I would pay... Realistically, what I would do with like my planted tanks and stuff like that is I normally up the amount of catappa leaves and things along that line that I normally add to bring my pH down a little bit. I normally have a lot of driftwood in my tank, so I typically don't have to worry about it. But in the meantime, what I would do if the tap had gone all the way up to like 8.6 like that, is that I would go to like the Home Depot and get like a 40-gallon garbage can and fill that up and try to aerate it and bring the pH down a little bit. So you can like aerate it overnight, or even just put a pump on it and bring the pH down a little bit that way. That's what I would do. What do you got going on? Is that a box knife?
Yes.
Oh, this guy's gangster back here with the box knife.
Carrying some time.
Oh yeah, that's right. Tile coming in. Are you all right, guy?
I'm warmed up.
Are you warmed up? All right.
Normally people don't get to see the pregame show.
The pregame show?
Yeah. You're over on the other side working, but I have to go through that routine every time.
Well, I suppose that's smart, I guess.
Yeah. You know, had things to do. I couldn't get ready in time.
Couldn't get ready in time. Well, I understand. If you got your gold bars and all that kind of stuff, then that's
And I did make it
totally cool.
11 minutes on camera without saying a word.
That's pretty good.
I thought so.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad. But as far as that pH situation would go, that's what I would do. I would take that route, and then overnight, if you've aerated it and basically just have like a mixing pump in there, I would see what would happen after overnight, what that water was doing. Then from there, you could always buffer the water down with an additive that you could get over the counter, but the way that I typically do it would be to just add a bunch of almond leaves or alder cones or something like that. That is just sort of a natural thing, and then bring the pH down a little bit and not stress out about it too much, because it sounds like your tank is typically at 7.6. It's not a huge gap to just come down from 8.6 to 7.6, so I wouldn't stress out about it too much. If none of those things were really in your ability, then the thing that I would do is just start doing really small water changes on a daily basis. So if you had, for instance, like a 50-gallon tank, I would just be doing like a 2 to 3 gallon change a day
I would just
until
do a
your
bucket
water
'cause
kind
I'm
of went
lazy.
back to where it was from before. What's that?
I would just do a bucket because I'm lazy.
Well, you could just mark 3 gallons inside the bucket.
Buckets are tapered, man.
Buckets is tapered.
Yeah.
Well, you just get a measuring device. You know,
If you have a measuring device, why wouldn't you just use that device instead
because
of
it's
using
not
the
3
bucket?
gallons. I don't
Yeah,
have a
but if
3
you had like a
gallon
1
measuring
gallon
device.
jug, just use the jug to change the water then.
No, I guess you could do a 1 gallon change, but all right, just coming up with a number. I could say 6%, and then people would ask me, "What do you mean?"
That's why I'm saying I would just do a 5-gallon bucket.
All right,
Just because it's easy.
or do no water changes. I don't know.
That won't do anything.
Or
Actually, it
you
would
could just
acidify. It
you
would
could get a
acidify
ball
over
peen
time.
hammer and just smash your fish tank. Make for a good viral video. Just act like it was an accident. Ah! Right?
I'm gonna have my niece do that. The one that we set up a fish tank for and everyone loves. My cute little adorable niece.
Oh,
You're the only person on the planet that hasn't seen that video, apparently.
what video?
My cute little niece. We set up an aquarium and it's like got like 500,000 people that are basically all simultaneously like, "Aw, she's so cute."
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
We're gonna put a ball peen hammer in her hand. She
maybe I
whips
have seen it. I
around
don't
like
know.
a Tasmanian devil,
Mhm.
and it's only a matter of time until an aquarium explodes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as you guys can see, I am up here in the aquarium co-op, so I don't have the ability to do my video portion and all that kind of stuff. So anybody that's tuning in
He's
for
got
that,
a good one though.
I think most people are pretty used to it at this point, that I'm up here working in the meantime. So I don't have video portions and stuff like that. But one thing I do want to mention to people that is going to be going on with this channel right here, there are going to be some slight changes coming up with the schedule in the upcoming year. Now, I would like to hear back from basically everybody that follows this channel and not in the chat. I want you to email me or message.
Quantifiable data that you can tally up at a later point.
Right. At a later point, I will be able to figure out what you guys want to do. Now, the Patreon page is a great place for that because if you're already a patronizer, you can easily go over there. I'm probably going to post a poll on there.
Ooh.
So, but after the show, I'll be putting up a poll because I want to get some of your guys.
Can you do that on this video too?
What's that?
Can you post a poll on a live stream? Like once it uploads, can you make a little cardy thing that says like whatever question you're going to ask, or is that only before a video goes live? I don't know. I've never tried it on a live stream.
I've never tried it on a live stream.
Yeah, I don't know.
To put a poll on there.
Maybe
or
there'd
not.
be one on here.
I don't know. There
Or
might be
not.
one on here. If not,
Yeah.
it's pretty simple ask. Throw it down in the comments if you're like, hey, I don't have a Patreon account. I don't have a this. I don't have a that. Then you could always throw it in the comment down below because clearly you have a YouTube account. So you'd be able to at least throw that down below. Or you can email me at joel@darkstararts.com. So the deal here is that the Real Fish Talk, if anybody has noticed, the Real Fish Talk is now a 2-hour format. Okay?
Word.
Word to your mother. So, in keeping with that schedule, what Corey and I have discussed is that I'm most likely going to be coming up here on Tuesdays and Thursdays to actually do that show in person instead of doing it remotely from my house. Now, it does make it a little bit odd to be trying to follow my 5 live streams a week format, right? So, there are a couple of options. Now, the first option, people could freak out. You guys could totally freak out and throw ball-peen hammers around, claw hammers around, sledgehammers around, whatever, and go,
I prefer a rubber mallet.
the only reason I'm here is because of 5 days a week, 1 hour live
If
stream.
I don't get 5, I take 0.
Right. So, which is possible.
Yeah.
That's what some of y'all could be like, look, I want a Monday through Friday thing, and that's that. Or we could have secret option B. That's not really a secret because I'm about to say it.
It's a secret right now.
Secrets.
Yeah.
Secrets. Or the option B would be to be doing 3 2-hour shows, one on Monday, one on Wednesday, and one on Friday.
But wait,
So-
that's an extra hour.
That actually is an extra hour, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm going to do 5 1-hour shows, or which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equals up 5-hour shows, right? Or the possibility of 2-hour shows whereas I can probably get more in depth about certain content. I can actually get different video stuff because I'll actually be doing things,
Yeah.
right? And actually have time to actually like edit film and stuff like that.
That way, when you start the video at 45 minutes in, there's like an hour to discuss the video if you want.
Yeah, depending on
Yeah.
that. Or what's the word?
Secret option.
I guess
number
that's
3.
actually like the 2 options. Yeah, never mind. There's really only like 2 options.
Oh, because I know we discussed other stuff, but I don't want to speak for you.
We did discuss other things, which we're going to try and see if we can do that at some point
Under
in time.
promise, over deliver. So if we don't say it and it never comes, no one's sad.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But I think that's kind of the 2 options right now as of like January 2nd, 2018. So, that's really kind of like the question that I have. Should I do a longer show 3 times a week, or should I just continue doing the 1-hour show 5 days a week?
Yeah.
So that's really the question.
And really, the reason being is you guys are going right now. You're like, you did 2 hours earlier, and now you're doing an hour. I don't understand
Right.
why you can't do that. Well, the new show format, if we're gonna have guests on, and we're gonna film videos and things like that to have as part of the show, doesn't lend itself to, like, let's say we had Gary Lang here on the show, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna do the show, then we're gonna go out to dinner and stuff like that. We don't have to say like, well, actually we can't. We have another show we have to do. So it's a little weird in that thing, and we kind of want to spend, like, you do the show, and then we strategize the show, film the show, do whatever, make quirky stuff for other channels,
Right.
that kind of stuff, as opposed to, because right now it's like, do a show, eat, do anything for 45 minutes, start preparing for the next show. It's not quite that breakneck, but it's pretty close somehow. Like you
Yeah.
unwind from the show, eat, wind back up for the next show.
Right.
So I think overall it'll lead to funnier things. I mean, I'll be able to have more costumes around.
More costumes and stuff like that.
More time
Well-
for costume change. Like I was able to switch hats today. I don't know if all you noticed between the two shows.
Switching hats.
Yeah.
Changing it up.
Yeah.
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 So, well, I know it's like, so I guess that's kind of why I end up kind of simplifying the question a little bit there. I know that I have some like other options and things that are going to be happening over this next year.
You just need the data on A or B.
Yeah, because it's just A or B, and I know I
Like,
wrote
do you
this
want
down.
chicken or do you want beef? Because I got side dishes I'm putting with it, but which main attraction do you guys want?
Yeah, so it's kind of one of those things that like I don't know if well, because first of all, I don't want to disappoint the people that are patronizing, right? Like I don't want to disappoint the Patreons. Like if people signed up and they went like, look, I think paying $5 on Patreon to sponsor 5-hour-long shows.
Yeah.
How about 5-hour shows? I like that.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other funny options in the chat here, like, well, so wait, the options are 5 1-hour streams, 3 2-hour streams, but what about 1 7-hour stream? It is a possibility to just do 1 8-hour stream or something on a day of the week. I mean, it is a possibility. I don't know that I'm able to do that. Like, for instance, like from my studio, I don't have a backup Jimmy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a Jimmy to go like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And y'all can't come with me.
I've done it without him before. I've done it. I can get like 5-6 hours before it's like, I really gotta go pee.
Gotta go somewhere else for a minute.
I could make it, but it's like those last 2 hours I'm pretty much incoherent.
Right.
Like, waterfall sounds.
There's waterfall sounds in here too.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. Yeah.
Beefkin. So that's kind of the question that I'm putting up for you guys. As Jim was saying, he's going to email me and whatnot. We're definitely going to find out. I want to find out from you guys. So it's basically like a poll of going like, hey, what do you guys think? And
we can guess
and
what you
whatnot.
want all day long, but what you guys actually want, you can tell them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could guess about what you guys want to do. I could speculate about what's going on.
Analytics and that kind of thing. Yeah. But there's that human element that's important. Of like, oh, here's why.
Right. So, Mary Beth Mabe saying I could get behind the Monday, Wednesday, Friday format, but if they did Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then he could have a longer weekend with Vicky, and our midweek would be
yeah.
great. So, I get what you're saying there. That conversation is going to come a long ways down the line. That the Friday show is eventually going to be the coin flip day. For like, hey, we're out on location, or I'm out on location somewhere, Like,
Yeah, we talked about that because if we're going to go to some of these secret places this year,
right.
like a lot of times that means on a plane on Fridays.
Yeah, oftentimes like that kind of stuff is going to come up. But I personally, I would like to, get a vibe from everybody on like what you think about the schedule and if that works for you. Because like I said, a bunch of people could flip out and just go like,
Oh, for sure.
like, no way, I want 5 days a week. That's what I want. This is the end of my day. This is what I do at dinner time. This is what I do at whatever. I've gotten a lot of emails over the year that of stuff that's going on. Now, the big changes are like, to me, I think that they're positive changes because we're coming up with better content. We're, putting our blood, sweat, and tears into putting out better content, and that's our end game. So, like, that's what we're working on, and I just kind of want to get a feel out on my channel of like what people think, because the Real Fish Talk schedule, we have ironed that out. That's how it's going to be. It's going to be that Tuesday, Thursday, 2-hour deal. So that's not going to change.
The other thing the one thing we didn't hammer out is the time. Like if people were really adamant about like the time slot, in theory we could do Real Fish Talk at 4 p.m. as well. So that way it would like mesh throughout the week.
Right.
But I'm I'm not trying to make things more complicated. I'm just saying
That's
like,
something that, like, if people chime in and they go, like, the 10 a.m. Real Fish Talk is just, I can't do it. Like,
Right.
it's impossible.
right.
You know, and, you know, I think, honestly, if there was 9 million people that said, I can't do the Real Fish Talk at 10 a.m., but I
Yeah.
could do it at 3 p.m., then it would be like,
We just do it at 3 p.m.
well, there's these 9 million people that want to watch, but they can't.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So that's like kind of the question. That the Tuesday, Thursday is when the Real Fish Talk is going to happen. I want to figure out what is realistically the best thing to do here for the fans now. Any of the new fans will just adapt to whatever is going on.
Yeah, if they
Right?
don't know who you are today,
I do have-
tomorrow they'll
I
just be
have-
like, oh, this is what he does.
Because let's be honest, I have loyalty to the people that have been loyal to me. That's
Yeah.
the point. That's realistically the point that I'm getting to here is that, like, you know, people that have been around and hanging around the channel and contributing and all that kind of stuff for, you know, a long time. Those are the people that I really want to hear. You know, I want to hear
Sure.
from all the people that have been around and stuff.
You don't
know?
want to alienate the people that have been around the longest.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's
So, and
totally
the new people
understandable.
coming will just be like, oh, this is when things happen. Okay. Oh, all right. You know, so.
Yeah. You know, like for instance, who was it? Steven Skoglund that likes to extend Thursdays.
Right.
So he'd be like one of the most impacted by this type of thing. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so I want those opinions to weigh in.
Right. I need to,
Yeah.
I need to hear some of those opinions. I need to find out what's going on. And then, so I need to hear from all you guys. I need to hear from all the people of what you guys think is the best and what is going to work for you guys. So, this is basically like, hey, I need some information and I can't get it unless I ask for it, you know, kind of thing. So, but I feel like this is definitely a step in the right direction either way, and so that's what we're gonna end up doing. You know, like I said, I'm not gonna listen to Steven Skoglund imposters that just show up tomorrow.
What?
I'm gonna listen to Steven Skoglund. I'm gonna listen to like Candy Overhauls, Jay's Aquatics.
We need Frank Dominguez's input.
You know, Mary Beth Mabes, Frank Dominguez. We got
That way we can
a lot of
schedule it when
people.
it's not optimal for him.
What's that?
If we hear from Frank Dominguez, we can schedule it when it's not optimal for him, and everyone else has a chance to be first.
Everyone else will have a chance to be first to the chat. I have not found a time of day that is not optimal for Frank Dominguez to be first to the chat. I don't know how he does it.
That's why you need him to weigh in.
I seriously like don't know how he does it at this point.
Jimmy was saying the same thing. He's like, I actually don't understand how he's always first. Like he said one time he set the stream and Frank Dominguez was in it before he could click the button to go into it and write first. And Jimmy's the one that said it.
It's like started it.
Yeah.
Right.
I told him he's a robot. He's this virus.
Is he?
He's Jarvis.
Yeah, he's Jarvis. He's inside the machine.
Yeah. So
So all right. LG3 Nation is in Seattle. We just found something out.
I knew he was in like Washington or something like that. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, he's the only one to super chat today, so it stands out. And then he
Ooh, are
said
the
he's
super
in.
chats working?
I don't know. I always
Ooh.
think super chat's broken. and
Yeah.
then
I'm not
somebody
sure. I haven't seen one yet.
well, I got there's the one from.
I didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't? Is yours broken over there?
It must be. It was legitimately broken earlier. Like legitimately was.
It was actually broken earlier, but the Turtle Girl says we're secretly conspiring to dethrone Frank. It's not a very good secret if we're secretly
Yeah.
conspiring while on a live stream in front of all the peoples this is around. What's our concurrent right now?
Concurrent.
We got to check with the concurrent.
Concurrent is 146.
146.
146.
Oh, we're low on a Tuesday.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
My bad.
What happened? Is everybody out sleeping? Everybody's out. Actually, everybody else probably like at their job going, oh, man. Why
Yeah.
didn't they do it yesterday when I had the day off?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. All is right in the world if Frank is first to the chat.
So far, I can't say that's untrue. But
Yeah.
I am going to start looking for similarities. Like if I wake up and stub my toe really hard in the morning, I'm going to see if he was first to the chat that day.
Right.
If not, I'll know.
First, to see if he was first or not.
Yeah, if he's not, then it's like, oh, I see.
Was today going to be a good day? I don't know.
Is it like a groundhog? If Frank Dominguez like is the first to the chat, it's 9 more weeks of winter
It's not more. Yeah.
until
yeah.
you dethrone him, and then winter ends.
But then, then we have a
Yeah,
problem.
it's like it's been going on for 8 years. That's why it's so cold on the East Coast. Is actually Frank Dominguez.
It's
Yeah, told you.
Frank Dominguez wasn't first to the chat, so we had 16 more weeks of
He
winter.
brings the wrath.
The
Like,
wrath.
oh yeah, you gonna beat me? I'll show
It's
you.
like,
I will slow you down till you
it's like-
can't move.
It's like the reverse. What is it? It's like no, it's the cold hurricane. That's what it is, right?
It's a meat tornado.
The meat NATO. Come on, you guys. So Corey's gonna talk for just a second.
All right, I'll do that.
Oh, whoops.
But let us know also. I mean, obviously, with this show, the data is skewed where you guys are obviously here, listening and watching right now. But it does make some sense to possibly move the Real Fish Talk to like 3 o'clock. And then we would go till 4 and then to 5. And that way we'd catch you guys as viewers also. And the hardest part about this is like, starting at 3 o'clock seems insane. Starting at 10 a.m. seems insane. But then when you look at all the world time zones, and like by moving it from 10, like the UK and some other places would be like, oh man. But then like New Zealand would be like, heck yeah. So you're always making someone sad and someone happier anytime you move it. And you're always like, well, let's adjust it. What if 500 more people watch just because it's at a better time? That type of thing. So, yeah, exactly. Jeffrey says, don't forget the viewers on East Coast time. I actually think about that all the time. And that is like, so why the reason we start at like 10 a.m. is because it's also 1 p.m. East Coast time. So you're kind of that lunch break. And in a perfect world, how it actually got started for the Real Fish Talk was we'd do the show at 1 hour, right? So you do 1 hour, like boom, it's now 2, and then lickety split, I get it uploaded to the podcast, and then you could download it while you're still at work, even if you're on the East Coast. In practice, instantly when we're done, we eat lunch and then go back to work on something else, and then it doesn't come out till like the next day. So it was a pretty like, oh, yeah, that really has no here nor there. Well, the other thing was too, we wanted to do it when you could get here, but then also we don't want to run it back to back with the show. So if we end up not doing a show on your channel later in the day, that also frees up the time, because obviously we can't do Real Fish Talk at 3 and your show at 4 at a 2-hour segment. That would be impossible.
Right.
Or would it?
Well, I don't know. I can't seem to put the poll now. Now that I wanted to post the poll.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Jimmy.
I was trying.
Yes.
I was trying to post the poll, but now it won't post because it's being stupid. I don't know why.
So we did get that first super chat from LG3 Nation for $4.22, I think.
Really?
I lost. Oh, wait, right here. Yes, $4.22 from the LG3 Nation. And then Josh Peters, which I remember him at least being, I think, super chatting in Real Fish Talk earlier today, because he was the second JP, as I called it. Thanks for the great content. $5 super chat. Well, right on, man. The goal is we'll set the parameters, get it locked in, and then just run them for 2018 and see how it goes.
What's that?
We'll figure out what people want, then we do it, then we reflect on 2019. You know, be like, oh, do we change it or is it good?
Yeah.
You
We'll
know?
just we'll just do it this way for a year. I don't know, guys. I was gonna post the poll, but now my phone's not working right.
Ain't happening, bro. Can't do it.
It won't let me do it right now. I don't know why. But
How do we get you guys on the Joe Rogan podcast? I don't know. We want, one, I think it'd be super cool just to hang out with Joe Rogan and talk about something, because he's super open-minded and opinionated, which
yeah,
adding that to us two would just be good. Could be fighting too, though. I feel like we could be ninja battling. And then also like the Joe Rogan effect of like, oh, you're on Joe Rogan, you now have 1 million followers tomorrow. Like, so there's that.
Yeah.
You know. The other thing that I've been looking into is I not to, I don't want to stir the pot, but I also enjoy Philip DeFranco and H3 Productions, like their podcast format and that kind of stuff, just
Yeah.
because I love anyone that can be on a podcast and be open-minded. Like, even if you completely don't agree with what the person's saying, you can at least let them say what they say, you say what you say, and at least both point of views come out. Like, I enjoy that. Instead of, like, there's some podcasts where it's like, oh, let's only get this person on because they're going to agree with what I do. And that's like, well, come on. But I would love to be on. In fact, I sent an email, which I haven't got anything back yet, but about possibly advertising the Real Fish Talk with H3 and that kind of stuff. I have no idea. It could be like $1 billion, and then that's
Could
like
be $100 million.
Okay, well, that's an impossibility. But it could also be something in the realm of like, I could save up, we could do that, and then maybe it works, or maybe it totally doesn't. I have no idea, but
Right.
So
Yeah, it's a little bit weird. But yeah, I think so for this week we're gonna be doing the 1 hour stream from 4 to 5 is what's going on
the
this
normie
week.
norm.
And then most likely starting next week we're gonna be moving one way or another. Depending on what
Either
your
keeping
guys
it the same or
depending on what your guys' response is, basically. Yeah.
So Connor Bishop with the £2, boom. How many generations before he needs to switch up the DNA in his Molly line? It's like his line breeding, getting him to do his thing.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, I like you to be this kind of tail.
16? 20?
I don't know. Here's what I know. I know from like the Texas Stock Center and that type of thing, the answer is never if you're culling the deformities.
Right.
And I never is for a long time. But at the Texas Stock Center, where they have strains that like don't exist in the world and they can't outcross them, they still look great after like 50 years. So the reality is like probably not in your lifetime, but do it out of like, ooh, that thing looks really cool, I want to try and get that into my line. That's probably the appropriate time, instead of like, let me go get one of my generations from 12 generations ago and cross it. Yeah. That being said, they're not also trying to radically change their genetics. They're just kind of pulling out the ones that don't fit the, I got a bent back or whatever, that type of thing. So
Yeah. Patrick McCluskey is asking, do you guys want to get sponsors at some point? Basically, we got the Fluval Trippin' campaign that's going on right now.
tripping
Mainly
them slow.
to see if Fluval will actually send out a marine light, but I don't know.
I can speak for
No response.
I can speak for Real Fish Talk in that Real Fish Talk would love to have sponsors of people we actually want to work with.
Right. Right.
Because at least for Aquarium Co-op, I get hit up by companies I would rather not pair up with fairly often. They're like, hey, check out this product from China.
Oh, right.
Would you like us to give you $7 and then you could like sell 7 million of these units?
Right.
And they may or may not burn your house down. And I'm like, not really, no. But if a company like Fluval, maybe Hikari, there's probably like I did some research, and they're like, here's what you do. You get a big whiteboard, and you write down every company you can think of you like. It doesn't matter, like, it could be like, I love Diet Coke, right? Whatever it is, like anything. And then you
Free plug.
rank them. Yeah,
That's a
free
free
plug
plug.
Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Then you rank them like 1 to 500 or whatever you came up with between your team, and then you literally just start calling number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and eventually out of that 500, one of them will be like, we are the leading spork manufacturer. We are looking for some outreach. Okay, yeah, we could send you a case of sporks
Right.
and compensation and a check for $1.17 once a year, and yeah, because at least I can speak for myself. I don't want to do like, oh, we got the latest way to sell nerds. You should buy nerds because they found a way to make them half the price and taste twice as crappy.
Right.
It'd have to be like, oh yeah, these are amazing or whatever. For me, like I I'm really bad at be like, you guys should totally go buy whatever brand gloves these are. Why? Uh-huh. You know, where if I actually had a reason like, oh, I wore these, they're sweet. Yeah.
Right.
You know? But yes, because, and the people, oh, why, you just want to make a lot of money? No, but to do what we want to do, and that's, let's say we fly in one speaker a month, might be international, that's $1,000 to $2,000 a month in flight fees just to like, oh, let's get Ian Fuller out here and put him in a hotel and that type of thing. And so
Right.
for the Real Fish Talk, that's kind of what we're looking at, you know. And even on this show, it's like, for this show, if you landed Fluval, you'd be like, great, give me some money because that internet connection I upgraded to got to get paid,
Right.
you know. And then
Yeah.
I gotta live somewhere, and then
Yeah,
not
I've
to
gotta-
mention like, oh, a studio and that kind of
I
stuff.
gotta pay all that stuff myself. I gotta
Yeah.
pay off my credit card bill. Ooh.
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah.
Yep. So I know I see some questions here in regards to start times and that kind of stuff, and that definitely had to do with what we were talking about on the Real Fish Talk. One thing I wanted to point out was that if I do move to the 2-hour format, I would actually be starting an hour earlier. So I would still end the show around 5 o'clock Pacific time. It would be, I would start the show at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which would mean it would be 6 o'clock on the East Coast,
Yep.
5 o'clock, whatever that time is, Central, right? Then the
Center?
next one would
That's
be
like
4
Chicago
o'clock,
time, I think.
4 o'clock on Mountain Time. Mountain Time, or mountains.
That's like 2 o'clock Alaska time.
And then like, well, part of Alaska or Hawaii, I
Yeah,
think, 2
yeah.
o'clock. Yeah, so going backwards and that kind of stuff. But that would be the only real change. But I think Corey and I both would like to someday kind of like streamline our time slot when we're kind of figuring out that stuff. But in the meantime, that's what would happen if I did move to the 2-hour shows.
I think we figure out your show because your show's been running longer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we adapt Real Fish Talk because it's still in its infancy stage. It doesn't have like a year of people watching set in their ways.
Right, yeah.
And then we go, yeah, so then we can just say like, Joel is live on the internet every day at 3 p.m. And you're like,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
what channel? Well, yeah, that's one of the two, but he is live every day
kinda
somewhere
tricky.
at 3 p.m.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so Dan Squire says that would be 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. UK.
Yeah, see, that's
Yeah. Of course,
brutal,
Gillett says, let's just consolidate all of this into New Zealand daylight savings time.
but- yeah, the world revolves around New Zealand.
New
There's no
Zealand.
debating that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Oh, here we go. Dominic Martino with a $10 super chat. It's bright yellow.
banging.
That's how you know.
It's actually this color. This layer between the taco shell and what is that?
That's the shell.
Cheese?
And
That's
then
got to be
maybe-
cheese, right?
Maybe cheese? Or maybe it's just shadowing
But
on the
you
shell?
don't- You don't put cheese.
Maybe it's just
under-
shadowing on the
You
shell.
don't put the cheese under the beef.
I think maybe it's just some shadowing of the shell.
Maybe that's like the grease.
It's
like-
greasy from it being fried.
No, yeah, it's you know when you put taco meat onto a taco and if you don't drain it enough, then
Yeah.
it like
It's you know,
could
greasy,
be
greasy
the
coming.
taco meat grease. Anyway, Dominic with the $10 taco grease colored super chat.
Taco grease color. It's got both colors on it, you know? It's got
It
that.
does have both. It's
Yeah.
like a taco shell.
That's right, like
Yeah.
a taco shell. Has a $10 super chat asking, I have a rare species of dwarf puffer that was sold to me as Travanco puffer. They're bigger than a quarter and community safe, and I want more. My guess is I have to breed them myself. Suggestions?
I haven't heard of that off the top of my head. So the problem is when you don't know what something is, like, oh, well, how do I advise? But if you only have one, finding more might be difficult. Some of that stuff doesn't come in too often. Maybe your phone will lead to some more answers, but
I'm looking up Travanco puffer.
because I'm intrigued, the fact that it's
Dude,
like,
it's a dwarf puffer.
oh, but it's bigger than a quarter.
Principally, that was known. It was from an Indian principality that was known as Travancore. Travancore.
But a quarter is
Uh,
pretty big. I've never seen pea puffers, or at least the Indian dwarf. Well, there are. there's more than one.
Carinotetraodon.
Yeah.
Travancore.
That's usually what I know is the
Coricus.
normal pea puffer.
Dwarf puffer.
Yeah.
So it's not a pea
But
puffer.
there
It's like
are-
maybe just like a bigger pea
Yeah,
puffer.
there are more than one
Peef puff-
species,
peef
but I don't think
puffer.
I've seen. I don't think I've seen that slightly larger one. Myself, even on my list anyway.
There's a picture here from Gary Lang. Maybe we should just call him.
I wonder if I do have his phone number.
The picture's from Gary Lang. Set up the Gary Lang signal.
We do have him on
Wait.
Facebook for sure.
We
but
don't have a Gary Lang signal.
not
Maybe we
yet.
should get one.
If we can get sponsored, we can get a Gary Lang signal.
We'll just
It'll
let's
just
have,
shine on the ceiling.
we'll just have him like,
uh,
hey man, you got to be on Skype.
every show,
24.
just in case.
7.
It's like the phone a friend.
Yeah, so it sounds like, from what I kind of looked up real quickly, yeah, it's coming in as a dwarf puffer. So
That's the problem with like. The
I would
common
say that
names.
if you have a male and a female, this definitely would be. What is going on here? The chat is disconnected over here. Weird.
How do you? I've never had that happen. You're like specialized.
I don't
in
know. What's this thing doing?
Quirking it up over there.
What's this doing?
Don't know, bro.
Will not send a message. I don't know. It says it's unable to connect to chat.
You need to send messages, bro.
I don't know. I was just seeing if it was broken or whatever. Because I can't read the chat now.
What's that? Super chats are broken.
Even just regular chat's broken over here.
Yeah.
The super chat. I don't
You
know.
should try super chatting. It might work.
But it sounds
that's
like
my credit
a dwarf Indian puffer or whatnot. But if you do happen to have a male or female, this actually might be a great opportunity to actually breed them. That's probably what I would. Honestly, that's what I would put my energy into after a little bit of energy to see if I could get more of them.
Yeah, I would
Like
exhaust
initially,
that
I would
first.
I would contact the person you got them from, maybe the store you got them from, or whatnot, and see like what their availability is. And then if that just looks like nonsense, then I would for sure start figuring out how to breed those. Because, I mean, if you got quarter-sized pea puffers, right? There would definitely
Monsters.
be an awesome market for that. I know that if
In
those
my,
were for
in my
sale,
mind, they look like a ping pong ball.
if those were for sale down the street, I would make a strong consideration to get some of those.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I've even considered getting a pack of figure 8 puffers again.
So Glassbox is willing to type your messages. Do me a favor and go ahead and super chat that says Joel is awesome. If you could just type that out for us, it'd be great.
Just,
In a super
just type
chat.
that in super
super
chat
chat.
form.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to this.
I don't know. It's who knows? Who knows? We need a sponsor so that way chat will work.
What's that?
We can pay a technician just to like make the chat work, please.
Yeah, is this chat broken?
Really?
Help.
I don't know. YouTube's been hating on me lately. I don't know. What do
Yeah, I don't know. This is your account. Your account should be working.
Trust. Yeah, I should have a what is it? A YouTube partner account manager. Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Well, I had to sign back in.
Oh, now
See,
you've
here's what
done
happened.
it?
I had to sign back in again. All right. Well, I don't know. Let's pause that. We don't need to see the playback of ourselves.
Are you gonna pronounce this
Dude.
person's name so I don't have to murder it?
Creepy. Well, hold on. I gotta figure out. You guys always do the pop out chat thing. I don't ever do that.
Yeah, because it's super gangster.
Is it Super Gangster?
Yeah, you
Is
want
it?
to where?
Whose name? Oh, that's Pele Trele. We say it wrong.
Yes.
He's saying good night.
Fish nerds.
That's one of our Swedish buddies. It's
Yeah.
one of our Swedish homies.
Oh,
Pele
sweet.
Trele. And I know he told me how to say it before, and I completely forgot. Yeah, see, it logged out again.
I don't know what you're doing, man.
I'm like literally doing nothing.
Yeah.
I'm leaning
yeah.
on here with my elbow. It says
Sure.
sign in to chat. And then I have to go back here again.
I don't know what you're doing.
What are you doing?
Tripping.
Why is this thing tripping? I'm gonna see if I leave the not pop out.
Sure.
Hold on. There we go. Is this working?
I need to have a Jimmy bell. I ring a little bell and Jimmy comes running. No. See, that's
Oh, it's working.
all right. I'm very careful not to, like, Jimmy is an assistant and works for me and stuff like that, but I would never want to actually be like degrading or anything like that. Like, he's our friend or our buddy. So
Yeah.
like, Well, I know you know that.
Jimmy's our friend. What happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
No, there's Flynn was saying like you need a little bell so like you can ring it and Jimmy comes a running, and in joking form, funny. But if I was to actually do that, degrading. So I'm not interested in that.
Yeah, and I mean he's literally doing the stuff that neither you and I want to do right now, which is carry the tiles.
He's moving
from-
tiles. That being said, either one of us would be doing it.
We would be doing it.
Yeah, for sure. Like Jimmy's a trooper, couldn't live without him, awesome asset. But that is exactly why, and all my employees are that way. Like I would never want to be knowingly degrading them.
Yeah, with a bell. Like,
Yeah,
get over here,
and
boy.
I realized Flynn wasn't intending it like that. I was just setting the record straight because
Right,
I do
right.
get a lot of flack. A lot of people, like no joke, think I abuse my wife or I take advantage of Jimmy and that thing. And like people only get like what they see on camera and not like the whole behind the scenes thing. And and please ask them away from me so they can tell you like Corey's not making sure you say the right thing, but I'm a pretty nice guy to hang out with. Like I'm not an oppressor.
Yeah.
So like, but people get weird, man. My wife's kind of getting fed up with it actually. Of like, why do people keep contacting me to like,
if Jimmy's okay or not.
or that she's okay? Like in the
Oh.
chat on Saturday, multiple people like, are you okay with being called Dorkula and all these things? She's like, yeah, I named myself. Like
Yeah.
I don't
That
see what
wasn't
the thing
that
is
wasn't like
here.
a give like her given name.
Yeah, where people are assuming like I gave it to her as like something derogatory or like demeaning or
No.
which is just like
I call Vicky Victoria, but that's like
wait till you get like 100,000 subs, and then people are like, he's doing that to defame your character or something. And
I
you're
don't
like,
know.
Oh jeez. Oh jeez.
like
Come
me
on.
being around is what defames her character. Like me just standing next to her, like
Yeah.
if anybody's seen from the internet, I mean seriously, we take selfies together, and it's like, ugh.
That
Man.
picture's great except for that other human in there.
Yeah, who's
And
that
they're-
dude?
Yeah.
What a creep.
Well, I'm
Who's
just,
that?
I'm just
Who's that weird
extra-
homeless fellow that you're
extra
hanging
sensitive
out
to
with?
it because I live my life to not be that way, and so it's like,
yeah,
no, I would never do anything like that, and
right.
so
And you and I have talked about it before. It does like, we both have that little voice in our head of like, we get 100 good comments and we get that one negative comment, and then it's like me, in the back of our head, like, what did I do wrong? Like, what? Why are you so mad?
Yeah.
Either way, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
Our ladies are loved. So is Jimmy. Jimmy, we love you. And your calves.
He's
Okay.
probably like on the floor.
He's
just
like laying
panting
down.
from
He's
moving
probably
the
taking a nap
tiles.
before.
Yeah.
But CK has a great question here. Hoses on the FX6 are hard to get off. I understand the suction, but any question on lubricant? And Ed's Fish was super quick on the reply, which, and this is basically what I was going to say, was silicone grease. Add a little bit of silicone grease to them to keep them lubed up. And then that works great until they become super brittle. Because eventually those hoses will become brittle and crack, and then if you're super gangster, what you'll end up doing is replace them with Spa Flex PVC.
bro.
Like if you're super gangster, but the cheap, easy way to go about it would be just to go to your local hardware store and source out some.
I got
new
one
hose.
other gangster hack.
Vinyl. What?
Before, like, because most of us aren't like you, and you probably have like, well, I've got 6 different types of silicone grease. Which one did you want? Spray form, squeeze out of tube form, like.
Oh, that's a good point.
But if you're like me, 10 years ago, when you're like, this is my first aquarium, someone said I done need to grease this thing. Sleuthing through the internet, and it works. And I learned it from the store I worked at. In a pinch, like Pam cooking oil spray.
Yeah.
Like you spray it on your fingers and kind of run that gasket or whatever you need to do through it. It'll give a little bit of moisture back to the rubber, and it will at least limp you through long enough to go, all right, now how do I source the things I should really be using?
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah, that does work.
it's not
Food safe. Food safe.
It is
would be
food
fine.
safe. Yeah, it is food safe. I don't want to say like it's as good as silicone grease because it's
'Cause
not like I've done the
it's
taste
not.
test or anything, and I don't think it would be.
You could taste it.
I could.
You're a grown man. You can
I
taste
could.
it if you want.
I'm gonna choose not to.
Aw.
But I think it'd get you through in a pinch. Like if your tank was leaking, and it's or not your tank, your canister was leaking in the middle of the night, and you could get you through a couple of days just because you used the Pam cooking spray. I think you'd be happy for it.
That's a good point. You
And,
could.
and with me, I just like, I'm one of those guys like, I fixed it, and then it might go that way for another like 6 years because I'm like, well, it's fixed. I don't
It's just fixed.
Yeah.
It's fine.
pretty good now.
Right.
By the way, if you don't know, you should be greasing the seals like on your canister filter like at least once a year,
Yes. Yeah. For sure.
which I never do. I'm just saying you're supposed to.
You're supposed to.
Yeah.
But you should be. Even
You
though
should be
don't.
doing it. Be better than I am. So,
Lauren Klinger. I always say Killinger or something. But Klinger is actually how it's spelled. I was asking Vaseline. I've never used Vaseline.
I've never used it. A lot of people say yes.
A lot of
but
people say yeah, but I've never personally. Mainly because I'm not 90 years old. I don't have a Vaseline tub around.
that's a thing I don't have around either.
Yeah. I just don't have it, so I've never tried it. Because I'm not 1,000 years old.
I mean, it's the same reason why I've had like Pam cooking spray on the bottom of a sled. Why? Because it was at the house and it might make my sled go faster.
Yeah, it was like a thing that you had. Yeah,
Yeah.
you would have tried. I would have tried Vaseline, but I've just never tried it before. Mainly because I just
think
don't have it
someone
around.
went into this. I
I
think
have tried
someone-
olive oil. I've done that before. Yeah.
I think someone went into it that knows more than I do, but long term, it was like a petroleum-based product would break down rubber in a long-term scenario. But if it's like it's leaking in the middle of the night, got to let me through for a week or two, it would have been absolutely
get-
fine. I think
Yeah.
is what it came down to is like petroleum-based things and rubber long-term degrades or something like that. Someone out there, some scientist, is triggered right now and furiously writing the correct thing. So Google it.
Yeah.
But I think it would get you through in a pinch.
Oh,
But
cool.
at that point, so would like bubblegum probably.
Yeah.
If we're talking about just a pinch.
I do.
New Year's
I do-
resolution to grease everything. I,
do
like
for-
that.
New Year's. Yeah. New Year's resolution: grease everything all the time.
Yeah.
It's a little. Could become a little awkward,
Everything.
but it's not
Yeah.
the worst thing I've ever heard of.
Mm-hmm.
But there is some kind of caveat in there. You're right. Like petroleum products on rubber at some point in
Think
time will
so.
kind of break things down. But I can't. I wouldn't quote me on that. But I have.
Yeah.
I've never used Vaseline, but I have used olive oil for sure. I've used canola oil, which I just wouldn't recommend using canola oil for anything really. Because come on, right?
Get your life together.
Let's keep it classy. Let's keep
That's
it
right.
classy, internet, and stay with some
Sweet
nice
coconut oil.
extra virgin olive oil. I've never tried
EVOO.
coconut oil, but I have used mineral oil before too.
Coconut oil, it comes in like a solid form, right? We have some in the house, I think.
Coconut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like a white pasty jar, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I
It's
can't tell the
legit.
difference, so. I mean, not that I cook, but like when I'm consuming the
Red.
food, I don't.
Raymond Bardine says Red Green would have used WD-40.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been a bad idea though. WD-40 is toxic, so not a good idea.
I feel like someone has gone to great lengths to prove that wrong to me on the internet before.
What, that WD-40 is toxic or not?
Yeah, that, like the main chemical was actually like fish oil or something.
Really?
I feel like I'm just saying that like I think I made that same statement and then someone like spent the next 3 weeks of their life making sure that I knew that that was wrong. So Google that too. Anything I ever say, just Google it. Assume that I'm wrong, but I've at least started you on the Google train.
Kyle Pace did the Pam on the sled trick and destroyed his ankle doing it and took 10 screws to put it back together.
Hey, sometimes you got to go fast.
So, on a similar note to that story, I'm gonna tell you a time back in the day where me and my boys used to take long skateboards and we would lay on them like backwards, like we were luging. So you lay on your back and you put your feet out front, and then
Wait, you go down backwards?
we'd go down. Well, you'd go down so your feet first, laying
Okay,
on your back,
okay.
right? So
Yeah.
you're looking like this,
Yeah,
like the luge.
yeah.
And we would luge on asphalt down big hills and everything through Briar and Mount Lake Terrace and all that
Yep.
on our skateboards like that, which you get going pretty fast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And one day, skateboard went that way, and I went that way, and my hand was underneath me as I
Nice.
slid down the hill. And I got back up, and I looked at my hand, and I went, oh, it's fine. And then blood started pooling in around every finger because all the skin was gone. So, like, when I got up, it looked fine. Like, oh, it just looks like it got, like, smacked really hard. And then it was like, oh, no, all the skin's gone. So, I can relate to that same kind of thing, like putting Pam on your thing. It was like, we're just going downhill real fast on skateboards, laying on our backs like it's real smart.
I don't even want to start. I'm thinking like, what do you do to put like a bandage of just ow, and then you're like, time to change the bandage. There went all my flesh again.
Well, here's one of the great things is like, I've injured myself so many times growing up and stuff. I was like, I went to my friend's house because his mom was
Yeah.
there, and I was like, yeah, this happened. I showed her my hand, and she went, oh, and she put like a dinner towel around it, and then she gave me 2 Tylenol and told me to go home. And I was like, I don't want to go home because my mom was an ER nurse
Uh-oh.
like forever.
That's right.
So-
I forgot about that.
When I would go home, that meant my mom would basically get out like whatever that weird,
Was the extra bedroom just
Whatever
like a
that
surgeon
weird-
table?
yeah, whatever that weird like nasty like ER soap is. I'm not sure what it is. It's got like
the
a iodine in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's all brown and stinky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd basically get that and then like a Brillo pad.
Oh.
And then she would like scour it out, and then like if I ever like cut
Exfoliate.
my knee open, like because I would always have like a bunch of rocks and stuff in my knees and stuff, and she would get a toothbrush with that soap, and then like get it all out. So
Betadine. Yeah, I was thinking.
yeah,
it might have been
betadine.
that.
This
Yeah.
was called. And so my mom got really in the habit of like treating her son and scrubbing out the wounds and stuff like that. So a lot of times I just kind of would try to like hide them from my mom because it was so painful, like so brutal to go through that. But there's really no way to hide that one that time. And
What's this? Oh,
yeah.
nothing.
I don't know. It's just a.
So if
Yeah,
we're gonna
hand
tell the
stuff.
battle wounds of going too fast.
Mhm.
I wasn't going that fast, but what's going on over there? At some age of young, my grandma had a slip and slide,
Mhm.
and we'd set it up, and it was hot. So obviously, what do? You like run and jump as fast as you can to go down that slip and slide.
Yeah.
Well, it was not the first slide, or even like the second. Let's just say it was like the 20-some slide. At one part of that slip and slide, there was a plastic tractor under the slip and slide, like a bulldozer thing. I still have the scar on my leg to this day, but it like ripped my knee open like that far because I
Oh,
went
yeah.
down on my knees and just cut that sucker deep and open. And like, it didn't hurt because it was so fast. Like you just fly down and you stand up, you're like, oh. I was young enough that I don't remember like what happened after that, just to know that like for the rest of my life I still see that scar of like that was the slip and slide, I'm told.
That was the slip and slide
Yeah.
action.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Not good.
I've done that a few times. Going down the
You
slip
put
and slide and
tractors
like
underneath the slip and slide.
hit a rock with your tailbone.
Yeah.
That's always a good one.
I mean that one, yeah, that one's smart.
Yeah.
But at some point someone was supposed to make sure you didn't put a tractor underneath the slip and slide.
Well, it's typically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, ooh.
All right, guys. Well, we've reached the 5 o'clock mark. Hopefully, we answered some questions in regards to your fish tank stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we've entertained you to some degree, and maybe at least got some laughs out of you. Maybe at least got some tears out of
I think
you.
we got
maybe
mostly a lot of people doing the ugh.
tears of joy,
Ugh.
tears of happiness, tears of sadness. I don't know. But either way, hopefully you enjoyed your time with us today. We're gonna head on out of here. We have a few quick reminders here that the Patreon is up and running. We are up to we lost a bunch of patronizers because they wanted to. We had a bunch of people that are trying to get in by the end of the year, which totally makes sense to me because it gets you into the drawing for some
Ooh, yeah.
big surprises coming up fairly soon. I'm not going to tell you when we're going to release that, so you'll just have to wait. But if you
Fairly
didn't
soon.
make it in by the end of the year, that means you don't make it into the pot. Sorry, them's was the rules. You had like 30 days or so, maybe like 26 days or something to get in on it. But I would stay tuned for when we do the drawing for that. Right now, we're verifying the people who went through and double checking to make sure that some of the people got entered at the appropriate amounts. You know, we do have some people like that aren't currently on the Patreon thing, blah 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 blah. So we're just making sure that everybody is in there properly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying.
I'm just here to agree with you.
Oh, Steven Scotland's gonna go give away his $50 co-op gift card now.
Yeah, he won one of the on my big Christmas giveaway thing. He won one of them.
Oh, he won one of them. He's gonna give it
Out
away.
of like thousands of people, he legitimately won. I was like, whoa! I actually recognized one name out of here. Amazing.
He's gonna give it away.
Yeah, on his channel.
Oh, he's got
Cool.
a live stream going.
He's gonna, yeah.
He's gonna give it away.
That's what I heard through the grapevine.
Steven Scotland's going live. He's gonna give away a $50 gift card. I guess I just
To
found that out.
himself. He's gonna be like, and
himself.
it was me.
And
oh.
I'm the winner. Yeah, that's awesome. And congratulations on to Steven. Keep up the good work on whatever you may or may not want people to know. So, but you know what I'm talking about.
Keep it
Steven knows
real.
what I'm talking about.
Keep it
So,
real.
hopefully keep up the good work, all that kind of stuff. So, shameless self-promotion. Hit the subscribe button. Hit
Ooh,
the
I know
like
what you're
button.
talking about.
Head
I
over to
agree.
Aquarium Co-op. Head over to Real Fish Talk. Subscribe to everything. Go ahead and make like 2 million new accounts. Subscribe to all that stuff. Make that stuff happen.
Go door to door, sign up your neighbors for Patreon for.
I tried to
Corbis
post the
Oskin
poll
show.
while we were live here, so I couldn't really do that. But I posted the poll to YouTube for now, and then I'll post a poll in the morning when I get back to my house on the Patreon, and we'll be able to answer some of that stuff. We already got some people. We already got some people answering in on the poll off of the YouTube. So run over to find that
Sweet.
poll and check up on there. It's looking about 50-50 so far.
Oh, what?
Whoa.
I'm gonna be the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
What if it
And,
comes down to me and I'm like, we're going live at?
And if you think you don't want to sign up for the Patreon, well, I'm
You're
going to talk
wrong.
about the Patreon a little bit more because some people were sending me hate mail that I talk about the Patreon too
Ooh,
much.
you hater.
So Patreon,
Wait, that makes you
Patreon,
not a hater.
Patreon, 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 meow, 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 meow,
Oh,
meow,
is
meow.
Patreon broken?
What?
I think new subs for Patreon's broken. If someone could sign up for that, we could confirm
Right.
they are working.
But either way, so all the
Hashtag
haters
free
out
plug.
there, have a great week. We'll see you
Yeah.
tomorrow. And to all the lovers out there, have an even better week than the haters. It's
All
a
right.
short week. We got 4 shows. If you didn't watch the Real Fish Talk earlier, go watch that stuff. And we'll be back here tomorrow at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time.
True
Hopefully
statement.
everybody has a fantastic night. I don't really know what's happening because I didn't really have my shameless plugs ready here. And I just kind of started rambling on and nonsense and talking garbage to people that don't actually exist in the chat right now.
Buy stuff
Patreon.
on Amazon,
Amazon.
after clicking through his link.
Click through the links. Do all that stuff.
Yep, those things. You guys know what to do.
I'm trying to get a Canon 6D. That's what I'm trying to get.
Yes.
The 6D Mark II. I'm putting all my money towards that, and I'm getting...
How many more
There.
bags of Cheetos do I have to buy through Amazon to make that happen?
We need some more bags of Cheetos.
I mean, I do all of my grocery shopping through Amazon to support Joel. Unfortunately, I have to eat
The
only
6D... The 6D
very
Mark II
processed
is the
foods.
most affordable full-frame camera I can try and get my hands on. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. That's my big goal. It's my big goal of 2018 to start shooting
Is it
full
on the
frame.
Patreon yet?
What?
Your goal.
No.
You
The
should
current
adapt that
goal on the
somehow.
Patreon is to get Dr. Sturgeon von Steenfish
Stinkerton.
on there.
Oh, all right.
Right. Which reminds me, Bob Steenfot should be live right now at 5 o'clock. So
Ooh, true that.
head over there.
Wait, it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. He goes live Tuesday, right?
No, Monday and Thursday, I think.
Oh,
It just feels like a Monday because
it
we
feels
didn't
like
do
a
a show
Monday.
yesterday or anything.
Crap, I screwed that up.
But he is.
I was thinking about
hashtag
Bob
free plug,
Steenfot because
free
I always
plug.
give him. I always try to give Bob a
Yeah.
shout at the end.
Yeah.
And I threw Steen in the name of the doctor.
Even a different day, still good. Still good.
Right. Either way, it's still good.
I think Scoglin's live next. I don't know.
Steven
I don't know,
Scoglin's
man.
Steven
I don't know, man. I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out.
Scoglin, I'm freaking out. All right. Hit the button over there.
All
we'll
right.
figure it out. And have a fantastic night, guys. I'm going to be up here at the coop all night working on sanding and
Can't stop, won't stop.
staining and stuff. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Ladies